Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Retta. Today I wanted to talk to you about a couple of serious things. I've been, as in my title, I've been thinking about if I've got Parkinson's, which is actually Parkinsonism, which goes along with another kind of dementia. So there's so many different kinds of dementias, and Parkinsonism often goes with another one. So so just my symptoms all total up to Parkinsonism, and was 13 years ago when I was complaining to my doctor, and she sent me for several tests, and then I was sent on to the neurologist in a private hospital. And she ran her tests, etc., and epilepsy, all sorts of things, and because I was having trouble swallowing and so forth, choking on food, and slurred speech and forgetfulness, and dizzy spells, etc. And that's when she discovered with my MRI that I had 5 or 6 mini strokes, which are called TIAs. So anyway, as I was leaving, like half an hour later I was leaving, and she said, also, there's a possibility that you will have either MS or Parkinson's later on. Now that was 13 years ago. I haven't been back to her. I've been looked after publicly, and I'm thinking about going back to her now that time has passed and she can do comparisons and maybe confirm that I may have Parkinsonism. And this often goes with vascular dementia. And I've had a look on Google and everything, and YouTube, etc. And I've got a lot of the symptoms, and they're progressing. So yeah, it's slow, but it's anyway. I wrote some things down, which is all the things that I've got. So one is constipation, right, and which I've had a lot of trouble with, and cognitive awareness and so forth. So yeah, I'm getting very forgetful and so forth, right? Personality changes. So I seem to be getting happier, which is really weird. And louder, I speak too loudly. That's the dementia side of things, not the Parkinson's. So I have trouble with volume control, and it'll just, I'll say something and suddenly it's blurted out loudly. And now I'm also having saying really unusual words out of nowhere that just doesn't make sense. Like yesterday at the shopping centre, we're just going up and down the aisles choosing something to buy and looking for things, and I just said na na nunny, and I stopped and looked at my carer and said, did I just say nun nun nunny? And she laughed and said, yeah. And I went, where'd that come from? So it's just really weird. This is beginning to happen a couple of times, so just strange. But anyway, sleep disturbances. Now there's different kinds. With the vascular dementia, usually you wake several times a night, or depending on what stage you're in, you can stay up all night and sleep during the day. There's all different kinds, right? So, and with this one, it's difficulty getting to sleep, mostly because your muscles are stiff and joints are stiff, which is what I've got. And like rolling over, I don't roll. I have to lift and flip over, and I do it slowly and awkwardly, and have difficulty getting comfortable. And then and I've been taking melatonin, but these days it's not really working, so I don't get to sleep till like 12:30 at night when I went to bed 8:30 like I normally do. Yeah, so I might have to up my dose of melatonin and magnesium. But yeah, and what happened was once I'm asleep, it's all right, but I do have some strange dreams and that, which are sometimes disturbing. And Cleo comes and wakes me up. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, if I'm talking in my sleep or something, or crying or something. She'll come and wake me up, and then once I'm awake, she goes. So it's a good thing. Yeah, it's the sleep disturbances are changing and stuff. So anyway, there's also difficulty with heat. Now, I've had a lot of trouble with heat because I have hyperhidrosis, but it's getting worse. It's winter time, and all I'm wearing is a bra and a jumper. Everybody else has got jackets and things and beanies and stuff like that. I'd sweat like mad if I was to dress like that. They came in this morning at Craft wearing gloves and everything, puffy jackets and stuff. It was like 4 degrees early this morning. But I'm also having the menopausal hot flashes, but I've been having hyperhidrosis since I was a kid. Anyway, it is definitely getting worse with each summer. Saliva problems. I keep choking on my own saliva. Sometimes I will dribble and catch myself and think, you're not a baby or anything. But yeah, saliva problems and tear problems. Like I can watch, TV and so forth without blinking for a really long time. Then I realise I haven't blinked in a long time. So the other thing is dry eyes, which my optometrist a year ago picked up on. And so she said, "Oh, put these drops in your eyes and you should be all right." So when I remember to use them, it's good. Yeah, now I know where that's coming from. It's part of Parkinson's. There's also the tremor. I've got a tremor when I use my fingers in doing small things. So at Craft, every Tuesday when I do Craft, I'm shaking, trying to put a little bead stuck on something or whatever, and I stay shaking the whole time until I settle down back home again. So fine motor skills particularly, but if I get extremely stressed out, my hands are going bad and my head starts nodding and I get pretty sick. There's pain in your body and stuff. I always thought it was my osteoarthritis in my knuckles and things like that, but my hands hurt, and I noticed I change positions wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. I'm constantly shifting around trying to find a comfortable spot, and I've been doing it a lot more, so it seems to be getting worse. So I will seek out something cold to put my hands on, and I'll change I'll be like that and then realize it's hurting, so I'll put my hands flat out. My legs are the same and so forth, and I thought magnesium would help with that, which relaxes the muscles, etc. And I went and had a pedicure the other day, and for the first time in like 12 years, and the lady's going, "Relax, relax," and I'm going, "I am." And she says, "Well, you need to relax more." She couldn't work on my feet. I was getting stiffer and stiffer, and she's having a laugh, and I said, it's me. I don't know why it's doing it. And she knew I had problems because I had my walking frame with me. Anyway, she's trying to put paint on my toes next, and my toes started flicking and moving about on their own. My big toe flipped up and paint went all under my polish all under my toe. So anyway, she's laughing, she's wiping it off. And I said, I didn't do that. That was my body doing that. It was involuntary. And the same thing happened on my left foot. So, yeah, you get these tremors and jump. Yeah, like I used to be using a mouse and I'd end up double clicking involuntarily on something and that I didn't want to see. And it's annoying. You got to go back and try and start again. But yeah, and the other thing is trying to feed myself. This is a bib which came today. It looks more like it's a scarf, but it's a bib. I bought it from Temu. You can get all different colours. You can get ones for men. There's a little snap thingy. It was like $3 something. Very nice. And yeah, it's got the like a plastic back on it. And there's a couple of snaps on there. And it looks pretty. And yeah, from now on I'll be wearing it whenever I have something to eat at home. And stop making a mess of my shirts. But yeah, it's very nice. It's comfortable and soft. There's men's ones with little bow ties and everything on them. They look really cute. But you can go on Temu. There's other places you can get them from as well. Anyway, what was I talking about? So with the spoon, I'm dribbling things down my front, like I said in my previous video. And so I'm going to be getting a bigger, thicker handle for my hands. And when it's a fork, everything drops off. So a lot of my shirts are getting ruined. And so that'll be good. I can wear that. I might order a couple more for later on. What else was there? Choking on the food. That's another one for both dementia and with this, but I'm not that far along in dementia. So I think this is the Parkinson side of it. So I choke on food, especially certain textures, and I've got to have a drink after every bite. And I've got to remember to chew properly. Otherwise I just swallow a whole big piece of steak, you know, and I'm choking. The other thing was what's called is executive dysfunction. You can't get organized. You're trying to think, do I put this over here or put this over there, or which one should I choose? It's really difficult making decisions. That is both Parkinson's and vascular dementia. And I've been having a lot of trouble with that probably the last 6 months. So I can plan something, say, okay, tomorrow I'll go back and buy that yellow one instead of the red one. And I can go do it. But on the spot decisions, forget it. I start getting flustered, shaky, stuttering, trying to figure out, you know, and yeah, frustrated, and I can't do it, you know, and my carer will step in and say, that's all right, I can do that for you. So yeah, just like exchanging money with a checkout lady. Where do I put my coins? You know, originally I was just going to use my card. She said we can't use the card, has to be cash. Suddenly I'm flustered. Right, cash, have I got cash, you know? And I'm looking and I'm trying to, you know, look inside the zip up part where the coins are, and I can't get a hold of the thing, and I'm shaking. And so yeah, my carer will take over. She'll ask and I'll say, yep, yes please, and she will pay the lady and put the change back in. Otherwise I'll forget to zip up the thingy, and then I've got coins all through my handbag. This, which is again, makes you more flustered, break out in a sweat, and yeah, you just feel sick and useless. And you don't want to go shopping anymore, because little mishaps like that become huge. So, and it becomes depressing. But anyway, so I'd prefer just hand my handbag over to my carer and just stand there and she can do it. It's just getting too much. Visual and facial dysfunctional problems. I'm just thinking, this is my list that I remember what I want to talk about. Visual, facial, yeah. So I can look at your face and I know who you are, but I can't remember your name. And even when I hear someone say, oh, I saw such and such, I'm thinking, who? And this is a regular person I used to see, and it's out of the blue. Then I've got to think about it. And meanwhile, they're telling me a story and it's going right over the top of me. I'm still working on who's she talking about. So, yeah, there's a problem with recognizing people. My cat's attacking my toe. Yeah, there's also, like I said in my last one, depth perception problem. So I will walk through a doorway and smash into one side of it, even though it's a nice wide door. So my depth perception is a Parkinson thing, not so much the vascular dementia one. It comes later, much later, when just before you stop being able to walk. In this case, yeah, it's your gait, you're shuffling, you're stooped over, you tend to be looking down instead of up, and you don't realize that you're becoming hunched over and stooped over, and that your gait is your stride is much smaller, and you're not lifting your feet up, you're shuffling, which I said before I'm having troubles with, and I was astonished to find my shoes, all the toes underneath were all worn down, particularly on my right side. So, yeah, this is happening more and more. So, this is part of Parkinson's in a big way. That's one of the first things, is your balance and your gait and the shuffling walk. Yeah, sometimes it's due to the stiffness of muscles and stuff, which I've got. But again, I thought it was all arthritis. I've got problems in my knees, my hips, my spine. You know how you are. When you get older, you sit down and you go, when you sit down, and when you get back up again, you're groaning. Well, that's been happening to me for years, not realizing it. But the other thing is, in the car, same with sitting here, I'm already in pain because I've been sitting too long in a 90-degree angle. That's why I like to spend more time in bed. And I thought it was mainly due to my back, my lower back hurting. But laying down or being quarter way propped up is much more comfortable for me. But I'm still moving my legs about from up, down, one down, pillow underneath my knees, trying everything to get comfortable. And I only last probably 5 minutes in one position. Excuse me. And so, yeah, it's part of Parkinson's. So anyway, going back to this, the one thing I don't have that I've been watching out for is visual hallucinations. I don't have that. The only thing I get occasionally is you think you saw a movement off the corner of your eye, and there's nobody down there and the cat's here beside you. And you look, there's nothing there, and you think, I'm sure I saw something go past. That's really the only thing. But the speech problems and slurring my speech, not opening my mouth properly, and I'm going to be seeing a speech therapist. I was going to say psychologist, a speech therapist, but there's an 18-week wait for that on demand, whereas an OT I can have this week. Difficulty retrieving information is both vascular dementia as well as Parkinson's. And I notice it is getting worse rapidly. So if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be able to talk like this. So difficulty retrieving information. It's like it's in a cupboard at the back of your mind, or you know how you say, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of, you know. And so with vascular dementia, it can be retrieved easily if somebody helps you just by adding bits, you know, and then you, bam, you can open that cupboard up and you know what you were trying to get out. Whereas you can't do that with Parkinson's. So once it's gone, it's gone. You know, like in the middle of the night, other people will wake up and go, oh, that's what I was trying to say. The name of the object was this, or the product, you know. This happens all the time, all day, which is horrible. Everything's on the tip of your tongue and you can't get it unless somebody else is with me and they'll get it out of me somehow. What does it look like? Oh, it's round and it's yellow and they'll go, oh, I know what that would be. Would it be such and such? And you go, no, but you just triggered it. I know what it is. So it's good to have somebody with you. Otherwise, if I'm sitting here, I'll try Googling whatever it is I'm trying to talk about. But, and maybe that helps. If you have small strokes, and it's particularly in the basal ganglia area of your brain, the TIAs later on can cause Parkinsonism, which is what's happened to me. That's another biggie. So like I said about the balance and so forth, they're all the first things that you tick off, and the tremor. Also the tremor is with Parkinson's, it starts off usually on one side of the body, whereas mine's both sides of my body. And that would be from, when that happens, I know it's the dementia, because I had strokes on both sides of my body. And so, yeah, so the left side of the brain is the right side of your body, etc. So, yeah, this is typical of Parkinson's. It'll be one side, then later on the other side joins in. So, yeah, it's very interesting. Also, I'm just going down my list. Yeah, your legs are much slower. There's also numbness in your skin, and I've been numb over my body. Now, you've got to tick off other things. You rule out other things like diabetes, etc., that can affect your skin. If your sugar's too high, etc., you eventually become numb, and yeah, it becomes a problem. If you cut your foot, you don't even know you've cut it, and you're bleeding badly, and you're open to infection and all sorts of problems. So, yeah, there's problems with that. So you've got to rule those out, and then you know if it's Parkinson's. The tremors are different from Parkinson's to dementia, right? Vascular dementia. So with Parkinson's, let me think. One is you've got stiff limbs, and this Parkinson's, you roll your fingers like this. So you'll sit there watching TV, not aware that you're rolling your fingers like this, like you've got a pill between you or a pea between your fingers, and they'll just sit there rolling continually. And that's a kind of tremor that they have. Whereas, you know, the other one is one-sided, and you've got just a tremor whenever you try to do something. Then when you stop, your hand's fine. So when you're thinking hard about what you're trying to do, yeah, it gets worse. And the other thing is, other than not blinking anymore, the other thing is when you walk without swinging your arms. So your arms are down by your side. Now that's another similar one to the vascular dementia. Later on, when you've got a bad shuffle and you're stooped over, same with Parkinson's, but with this, it's in the beginning. So you stop swinging your arms as you walk, and that's another thing I do. But yeah, there's a whole stack of big long list, and the only one I haven't ticked off is the hallucinations. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and see this special neurologist, pay a heap of money, and get a thorough check out. And yeah, hopefully she can let me know, and I can let my carers know, etc. And yeah, they'll know which one is which. And there's things that can be done. And when you're got Parkinson's, there's medications you can have. Whereas vascular dementia, you're on your own. All they can do is slow it down a little bit by making sure that your sugars are good, no caffeine, no alcohol, no, none of the good stuff, and a proper good diet, lots of exercise and a lot of sleep. That's it. So, because they've found what makes it worse, and less stress. So all of those things will speed up the growth of the disease in your brain and kill off parts of your brain as you go, and there's no fixing it after that. So yeah, Fraser put out a new video and I watched it at lunchtime, and he is covering the subject of end of life decisions, all the paperwork that has to be done if you want certain things to be happening, if you want to go into hospice or you want to die at home, if you want to be resuscitated, all this stuff. There's a heap of paperwork, and it's best you fill it out with your family, and so that they understand your wishes, and it has to be seen by the doctor, and the doctor will talk with you through the papers and stuff and make sure that you understand and what's available, and then she'll sign it. So that's the next thing I've got to do, is download that, print it off and get it going, because like last year I talked to her about no resuscitation, and she said, oh yes, we'll have to sit down and talk about that and look at the papers. So that's another thing I've got to do. The other thing was if you want to see about that and learn more about it, and particularly in different parts of the world, Fraser's covered that. So in his thing, he's talked to a few different people, a lady with MS, and etc. So there's different kinds of neurological deterioration type diseases in different parts of the world. So there's different laws and different papers and so forth, and yeah, different what's the word, not ideas, now it's gone from my head, should have written this down, different things available out there with hospitals, etc., and your own doctors, the specialists that you can choose from. Like in my case, I want to be no resus, because I've got a heart condition on top of all this stuff. My heart could give out, and I cannot get a new heart. I wouldn't want to with my diseases. I'd rather somebody else get a new heart who's got a whole life ahead of them, whereas I don't. So I would just say, if I have a big heart attack or a big stroke, that's it. Just make me comfortable, bring my family, I'll say goodbye to everybody, and yeah, just let that be the end in a hospice, not here and not at my son's place. I'd rather be in a hospice, and yeah, I don't want them, like going into my old room and saying that's where mum died, and hate to go in there or something. So yeah, I'd rather be in a hospice, a lot more comfortable. My mother was, and it was wonderful. They were wonderful. It was very private. We had, a fridge, coffee and tea, and sofa beds and everything. We had no reason to leave. So anyway, yeah, that was the best way to go. And in the end, she ended up very agitated and having hallucinations. And so I told them she's trying to get her nightie off. She's trying to tear it off and getting very upset. So they came in and they just upped her dosage of painkillers, which was being pumped into her tummy. Yeah, she slept and slept and slept and then passed away. So very peaceful. We were all there and very nice. But yeah, so that's the best way to go, I reckon. It's peaceful. You have a chance to say goodbye to everybody. Even if you are fast asleep in it, they can lower the dose and waken you up so that you can briefly, talk to somebody if you need to, speak to them and say goodbye. But yeah, there's a whole stack of things, that you might want to stipulate and make sure that your family knows, so there's no arguments or anything between brothers and sisters, etc., saying no, mum wanted to be cremated and no, mum wanted to be put in the ground. It's down there on the paper, and they should respect your wishes. So yeah, so a lot's been happening this week. They finally put the papers in for my NDIS, which is the insurance scheme we have here in Australia. We put it in on Friday, and straight away Monday morning I got a call from them saying we'd like to have a phone meeting with you on Thursday, and my coordinator is going to come and we'll talk on the phone together with them. And I think they're just covering, is there anything else you want to add to this, blah, 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 and they fully understand what I'm looking for. And then they will put it to the NDIS and they will decide whether, I can get into a place because I'm not safe here by myself, etc., etc. And I am deteriorating quite fast. So hopefully that'll go through. It should do. And so much paperwork and all the tests I've been through. And what else? Hopefully that'll happen quickly and I can move out of here and my sister can sell the house then. I can't go back home because my son and his wife and child, they have to move out. That's just been confirmed, so it looks like they might have to get a loan and get a loan for a new house somewhere, hopefully not too far from me. So yeah, it's all happening. So this week's been busy. My son also bought a new car, not a new car, but yeah, a pretty good car with their tax returns from both of them. So yeah, so they've got a new car. My son got his license finally, and yep, so both of them can use the car. So yeah, things are happening. It's real exciting, and hopefully we'll settle into a new place soon, and then my sister can sort this place out, and that'll be that. It'll be sold. So right now I'm packing stuff up and giving things to the Salvation Army and selling furniture and stuff. So anyway, I will go. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. But yeah, please subscribe and hit that bell so each time I come up with something new to say, a new, what's it called? Not a reel, a short or something. It'll go ping and you know I put a new one up. So, and check out Fraser's page, his channel. Check out his channel, and it's I don't, in brackets, have dementia. He is showing some beautiful footage of the area that he lives in Australia, and I think it might be in the Sydney area, I'm not sure. But yeah, just gorgeous. So take care everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, bye bye.